Hello. First of all, to thank Michelle for such a beautiful presentation, and the Prefix Institute of Contemporary Art, and also LACAP for having the how do you say that, the good idea to invite us here, and for taking such a good care of us. And we want to present a group of images of the last 10 years of our work. We've been working together for about 20 years, and but it's tiring to do such a long talk. So 10 years is a good amount of years, and we're going to start. How do we here?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh.
So, as Marco said, our show started in 2000. We transport our city. We make a selection of work because it's otherwise it would be to know. Transport our city is was a piece made out of tents. And the principal question about this piece is how much space needs a society to work as a civilized society or something. No? So we make a selection of all the more significant buildings in a city, and in a way that you can collapse it and travel with this, no? So it's also a play with nostalgia, with all these movement that involve in our countries, moving out in our countries. So those pictures belong to the first presentation of this installation in Havana in 2000.
Yes, and as Michel said, this piece has been, it was meant to travel. The concept of the piece is the idea of making a transportable city, a city that you can take with you. You can put it in a backpack and travel with that city, with the icons of certain cities. And it's been to all different places. It's been to Greece, to several cities in the United States, to France. I don't know. It's been in so many places. All with shows, always related to art shows. And I wanted to say that we structured this conversation with different lines, putting together all different lines between our work, because normally you can organize it in different ways. You can do different combination of idea, but this is the selection that came out this morning. We just did the selection for this morning. And the first block of work we're doing is related to spaces and living spaces, and spaces are supposed to be for certain uses, and how this can be transformed or manipulated by different ideas. And this is called Torres de Vigía. It's another system of transportate surveillance system. And the final effect of this work which was in the Sao Paulo Biennale in the 2001. This object was, I'm sorry, 2002. This object was supposed to be to observe people or probably to watch people. But at the end, the public climbed the piece and they showed themselves, because it was a very transparent cabin in the top and very vulnerable to the sight or to any other type of interference.
This piece was the project we chose to participate in Bienal del Mercosur, and all of them is the same idea to put inside your home the exterior. So, I mean, physically, no? All the buildings have, they are like little cabinets, and also have a connection with the existing buildings in the reality, no?
in certain work of also we question the appearance of the object. Certain object to be outside they have to have certain appearance, and to be inside have to have certain appearance. And you will see this in other works. And we just created all these furniture that looks like buildings, and every apartment would look like a drawer. And let me see. We selected this work was based in all different buildings that were interested us. And this building has some strange appearance. Sometimes it looks more very sculptural, like this specific building of the series that was called Russian Embassy. That is inspiring this real embassy. I mean, in Havana. This is actually next to my house.
The project is a Cuban project. When we were child, we all thought that the project was a Russian project, but was not like that. It was a Cuban project interpreting the Excalibur scene, it's like a sword in there.
So this building was meant to show the power of the power of this relationship between Cuba and the Soviet Union. And I think it was a message to the world and to the United States that was across the water. I think that's very different to our concept. That's the concept of the people.
So this series of work they are very related with architecture also as a main point, but they are more focused in sound. So those are the preliminary drawings of a piece that we did for a show in the gallery for the Plaza. It's about how the city sound, which is the sound of the city. And we make like a big speaker based in this, one of the first modernist buildings in Havana. So the idea of the neighbor of a multifamily building is starting that kind of buildings in Cuba. No?
Yeah, this construction was made in central Havana, where we have more type of Spanish houses. And sorry that they start making these blocks in the 30s, and multifamilial buildings. So we wanted to take this idea of multiple. This is tricky, no?
we wanted to put the sound of a basic normal class of people, no? And we wanted to amplify this, we have a word for this in Spanish that works perfectly. It's the word murmullo. I don't know how to translate it in English. Yeah. So we wanted to make this a song that is like a gossip in the multifamily buildings in
We actually never put sound there, but only to look at this object, you can think about it. You don't need to hear the sound. And the idea is to think about the promenade of these sounds of every family. If we project all the sound at the same time, you're going to have a promenade sound.
voice.
Oh, promenade voice. But it's about that. So you have to say, this is actually the front of the original building, and this is the back of the original building, but probably more service things were related to. It's actually, it looks very small, but it's actually like 3.5 meters high. It's a huge speaker.
The barrio. This installation was planned originally to make out of real concrete, but at the end we chose the cartoon because it was more easy to make.
Cardboard.
We did it for a show in Graz, in Austria, and the idea is it's a make like a big pile of building bases in the houses that used to be fabricated in our countries in the 70s. I think I have a friend also in Greece, Maria Papadimitriou, who said that in Greece it was a kind of expansion of those buildings in the 70s also, of these little houses for workers.
And we just wanted to treat the houses like boxes. And we just place them in they are very big, you know, they are, a human being can go in there, no? And probably 2 or 3 people can fit in there. So that was this pleasure of treating. And sometimes we install the piece, so this is just a watercolor, how to explain the installation of the piece. And this is another way to install the piece, sometimes like for storage, sometimes like a massive pile of boxes. And this is just one of these samples of these common houses. There is another series of work based on water objects that contain water and objects that are related to fun, to joy also, and how this being affected by sometimes when certain population have a social change, new buildings. I mean, all buildings have to be used for new social class, and this new social class will assign different uses to this building, and it's very interesting how this process can produce a good material for making art or creating poetry. And this is not our artwork. Sometimes we show reference. You probably noticed already of real things. It's happening in life. This is not art. This is real. And then we have this idea to make a series of swimming pool with different, I don't know, as a tool, almost as a canvas, something that you paint and draw and you put your ideas.
The pools are real pools. They work. They use chloride, and those are the preliminary works of the pieces that we never made. Some of the drawings that we produce will never end in sculptures, and we take advantage of this process of recycling architecture in our countries. That the thing that doesn't work because one philosophy can be used in another, no? This one is this pool frozen totally. It's an Olympic design of pool and get frozen with the system.
They basically look like maquette pools, but they are not maquettes. They are actually real pools with real tires, real circulations, real material, almost like pools that were meant to be for smaller people. This pool is a plan of a house, and in the way that you can go from one room to the other. But the idea is to put the deepness of the water in front of your life, not something like that. No? That one is a bumping houses floating. The Huella de Adidas. I think this is the most ridiculous one. It's like a footprint that becomes a swimming pool and has all these languages of Adidas. A footprint.
The little holes are jacuzzis.
And jacuzzi, they actually have bubbles and little waterfall, and things like that. And light.
The sandals. We made this series between 2003 and 2004. And they are based in the neighborhood that doesn't have a real map. You doesn't exist map for those places. And we took we were focusing on very poor areas in Havana. And the idea is to make you a kind of massage in your brain using this technique, not like stimulating your feet. No?
And we use the neighborhoods we got around, no, because we wanted to do something related to Cuba, because this is what we got in hand. But this can be actually applied to different other cities or different other areas around the world. And it's basically that. It's some sort of, sometimes we play with this ridiculous idea of an invention and creating something that give you massage, teach you how to move around the city, but also give you a metaphor at the same time, and all this, everything in one product. And then we created this sandal that is being shown in the Venice Biennale in the 5 or 4, I don't remember now.
The idea of the cathedrals is are the beat of the screwdriver. That we wanted to use this aesthetic of industrial revolution that happens in Europe, and we wanted to make a real big beats. And we are making a small version of this project in Zurich this year. But this is the first time that we did it in Havana.
So this is how it's supposed to look, the whole project, no? Like some sort of crazy urbanization or tower or factory or church. It's not defined, but it's just the shape of a simple things, a simple object that you use every day for working. And
if we wait another year to do this installation, we will have another set of tools, because every year this set is getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, we're getting all different heads of screws every year.
This is another project for outside. It's a big, I don't know how to say that.
Cheese grater, no?
Yeah.
But it's supposed to be a natural architecture size, and we plan to make it in brick, and to make this, the knife, it should be made in ceramic, you know, in big size.
To use enamel also for the bricks.
Almost like a Arab construction, minaret or something like this, a tower. And this is a series of drawings. We're only showing one that is a fantasy about bricks. It's bricks that behave like almost live things, like organs. And I don't know, we have a series of these watercolors. We're only showing one here.
What happened with drawings is that the 90% of our work is in drawings, because we don't. It's the more easiest way to put an idea, no, to do it. I mean, for us, and also it's a way to how we communicate each other through those sketches. But at the beginning, they were very little. They were very pretentious, but with the time have been like an aesthetic itself, and
sometimes the drawings are independent, because most of the ideas are utopical, and most of the ideas they don't need to be built. There is no necessity to build everything you have in mind. So there is these paintings that are the testimony of a fantasy. We have a conceptual world, or a world of metaphor or crossing ideas. And
the lighthouse. It is a exact reproduction of the lighthouse that is at the entrance of the Bay of Havana. And also the light have the same rhythm of flashes that in Cuba. And it was a coincidence that when we made this piece, the president of our country get sick at the same year, and it was like a political, ¿cómo se dice?
An spontaneous political statement.
Yeah.
There was also good about the, I mean, interesting about the, interesting, no, it was also, no, how can I say this? Well, the installation was supposed to be in a very dark gallery. It's a big gallery with a lot of rooms, things like that. Everything was absolutely dark. The only light was this pathetic light of a lying lighthouse going around in vertical circles.
Another piece, in this case related with light, we were very interested in what happened in between those lamps, the space, the empty space that happened in all these political and sport ceremonies. This empty space is very interesting for us.
We make a group of drawings of these stadium lights. They can be also stadium or prisons or public places. I don't know. So it's light to illuminate a big area. So we put them together and making this tension in the middle.
They look like humans also, no?
We finally made the sculpture on this Pan American stadium, based on this specific Pan American stadium. And these other two drawings will have a...
Yeah, but those drawings are different. Those drawings have this color connection that make you like a big wave have been tide have been affecting this tower. Huh?
It's just color, tight colors. I don't know, red, green, could be blue. Another series of, we put a lot of effort on cinder blocks. It's a lot of cinder blocks in our work because the fascination of construction and other probably psychological points that we don't understand why we're doing so much cinder blocks.
So,
but this cinder block is meant to be made of himself. It's a little bit a sick idea of constructing the same object you use it for construct.
That was the project that we presented at when we were planning to participate in the 100 acres in Indianapolis. This project was presented also for the installation that we did at the end. That was the first time that we that we set up this reflection. This reflection is about destruction, and it's related with blocks, but using the violence in certain way, no? And that was in Biennale de Praga, no?
Yes, but normally our work is very interested in building things, construction, craft, guild, things that are positive, no, in general. And but this series was more interesting in the idea of building something that is supposed to be destruction, no? We don't show any trace of fire or anything like that. We just hang the element from the ceiling and make this ambient. We create this environment of. But for us, it's an act of craftsmanship also, more than an act of violence.
It's interesting how all these things are happening, but when you are walking through the pieces, there is total silence, total aesthetic rules. We make a version of this piece in Arco Fair in Madrid. The newspaper, one of the biggest newspapers in Spain, they invited us to participate. I was very happy for us, no? Because they usually invite only Spanish artists, no? And they invited us to make this installation, and the logo of the país has to appear in the booth. And that was the year that the crisis in Spain started, no? Also. Um,
So it was a great idea. It was obligatory, mandatory to put the El País, no? And I think we just say, listen, it's impossible to do an installation with that thing, you know, that says El País. So we just include the thing in the artwork, and it was part of the piece. We just took ¿cómo se dice una redacción? Una redacción donde donde se hace el periódico, donde se escribe.
The typesetting? A typesetter? ¿Dónde lo hace?
Las oficinas del periódico, ¿cómo se dice?
The newspaper office.
Well, the news office. So we just create a set of the news office under this sort of violence or whatever.
Newsroom.
The newspaper offices are being destroyed.
Exactly.
No, we took an office like a subject matter of this installation, but I don't know, the fact when you put the países, that seems that you're talking about Spain. And we don't want to do it, but that's what happened. This work is based in furnitures and in the interpretation that we give to furniture. No? We have a long series of beds. This one is like a highway knot.
And in the buildings we showed before, we were taking the shape of the buildings and making furniture. But in this case, we also doing a similar process, taking things from outside and put it in your room, in your bed, and creating all this crazy intersection.
La montaña rusa. Those are the drawings for the piece that is now at the AGO. This is the installation. Thanks to Cherry, guys. Another piece of furniture. This one, let's talk about a little bit about how the shelf are being used in our countries. It's like a presentation card. So the people used to put all the things that they matters in this shelf, and sometimes the shelf get deformed because of this.
Now this one is specifically based on the panoptical prisons, and we just wanted to create it, to export this system of one person in the center controlling everything and taking care of everything and actually watching everything. And we apply this to this furniture that could be also a building. It's not clear if this is a furniture or building because actually it's very big. It's 5 meters diameter. It's almost like a small pavilion.
It's a library.
It's a library. It's a shelf and a library at the same time. And the idea is when you fill it with books, we never put books, And when we talk about sound, we don't do sound. If we talk about book, we don't put book because it's not necessary. You think about it, it's enough. But if you think about it, when it's filled with books, it would look only books. You only see papers, and the structure will disappear. So it's gonna look more like the bind. The bind of the book. How do you say?
Bind.
Yes. This is where you're gonna see the bind of the book title, things like that. But inside the work, it's something. It's not only panoptic because in the upper view it's also panoptic in the cut, in the vertical cut. It's a perfect side cut inside. So if you are at the center, with your hand you are able to touch or to get the book only by sitting in the center. And it's a very nice sensation, not only physical sensation, but also the room, this round thing will give you a really nice environment for reading.
It's about control.
This is one of the pictures that is inspired the work. So you can see inside how the
So the guy on the tower control all the interns that were exposed. It's like a big brother program. So the guy in the center control everything.
Then we make another version of the more oval. And then we have this series of objects that they don't come together one after the other. They are. We made this series around the years. You know, it's been years we work on this. We only show a few of them, and they are like objects that might look like political posters, things that are supposed to be for image, for a political image, but they are not prints. They are real. They are objects that you can use and put in your house.
This is the first piece that were used real for a person who bought it, a piece of us, and she don't consider art, this piece. She use it. She use it, really. We are fascinated with folding things and wrapping things, and we apply this philosophy to the podium to speak.
This is a collapsible podium that you put together. Travel with. You can make a really a small box with the podium and take it everywhere. This is from the same series of objects that might look like a poster almost. It's a perfect mix of chopping trash. How do you say it?
Trash car and shopping cart.
Yeah, trash can and shopping carts. And we are very interested in this sad point. Some of our objects, they get together in one point, a specific point. If you move this point a little bit here or there, it won't be work anymore. No? It's just one specific point that they have to meet and they have to get together. And it's not only the concept, but also the design, the manufacture, all these elements they get together in one point. And this is where the work starts, no? Same here. There's a mix between one of these stars.
Those stars are very typical in our countries for the unknown soldiers and these ceremonial things that we wanted to make like a barbecue. No? The red and the black have been used in history extensively in the movement of liberation in every country in the world. So we use it also like a party. It's about danger. It looks like a.
Oh my God.
Yes.
No, this series of little objects that placed in the lamps. The lamps, those lamps were used in specifically in Cuba for the campaign of alphabetization in the 60s. So we try with different materials, but at the end we choose the chrome appearance of those lamps because it looks like mercury. Mercury is one of the more toxic things that I have been seeing. So this appearance is very attractive, but at the same time it's very dangerous. We include one of the pictures that were taken in the city for the people using those lamps.
That was a very important movement, and that was generated for the generation of our parents. These people were very well educated people, probably kids of rich people or just people with very good education and possibility, and they moved to the mountain to teach everybody else. This was a campaign of the alphabetization, very famous, and that was a symbol. This lamp, this chrome lamp, was almost the signature of this movement.
Ahorita pasaste una.
No, ya está.
So we have been working lately with this, using in musical instrument to make like a real salsa band like melted. Some of the elements you can know that they are not the type ¿cómo se dice? No son they no lo puedes ver anymore.
You cannot see them anymore because they were merged already. Yeah, it's called Cuarteto Rebelde, just quartet of music.
The Abysm.
Here we got an example of a group of flippers that are behaving. If you take one flipper and you make this flipper behave like in a wavy way, it won't look like, it won't just look like a flipper. But if you put this flipper together in a group, it will look like something else. And we like this idea of with one element and this element move to the others as a choreography almost. So we create a third element. And here is more like almost a physical aspect, you know. As you can see, like a water reaction, almost like a reaction. That's the point of this piece, the reaction. And this goes to the same point, you know. You put together a lot of elements. In this case, it's like 200 suits and chairs, and you make one hole to every of them, and then you have a tunnel by the summatory, no, of all of them.
Yeah, but also in this case, it's not. Sorry. In this case, it's the tunnel make you a view of the interior of this block. So it's a way to look at this, to look at inside, no? This word is a physical joke about two players and the strategy, the visuality of the strategy that you have been using, no?
The perpetuity, you know, almost, no?
Mm-hmm. Those are the preliminary drawing for those pieces. This piece at the end, finished in a big installation in Indianapolis. This one. Looks like you cannot play, but you can play.
So it's basically the basket pool start bouncing, you know, and it's an imaginary game, no, of the two colors, the two teams. And then we made this exhibition in Brazil, which was called House and Airplane. So the exhibition was only two pieces, and the exhibition was very based in the previous history of the object. Normally we are very focused in the object itself, you know, in the present of the object. But in this case it doesn't matter anymore, just a ready-made of an airplane and original Aborigine arrows that we got in Sao Paulo, in the forest nearby, and we just put them together.
The question is, what happened before?
And then this was the other piece. It's called Casa, and it's also it's a trailer that is in the process of becoming a house. It's not yet a house, and it's not anymore a trailer. So it's just in between, you know, this strange moment of becoming permanent. And we have another theory, a personal theory between us, that anything could be a motif for the appeal of an architecture.
Everything, you know? Everything can be a place to stay.
Even regular objects, small objects, insignificant objects. Sometimes we pay a really expensive architect to give you to give our buildings a cool appearance. When you have, you can make a nice building or a plier building or airplane building, house. And this is a cabin, a pavilion that looks like a helmet. Or this pavilion that looks like crystals. Or this, sometimes like the AGO that you take an old building. You take an old building and you put some sort of cool things around.
Cool sickness.
Cool sickness, and this here is looking more like an infection that is growing. It's growing in the granero. ¿Cómo se dice granero? Barn. In this very old barn.
This is a French garden, no?
Yeah, this is another joke. French urbanization, placing buildings here and there. We just took a French garden and you know, a beautiful French garden, and we made these glass buildings.
This piece is made out of prefabricated structures, and it's a tunnel to the same point. Another job with progress, bridges and highways that make you feel that the progress is something like that, no?
Oh, sorry.
So they are made like this turrón, typical turrón of Navidad in Spain.
And here again, another architectural intervention, but it's just like a stove, no? That might look like a strange place, probably to burn things or whatever. Some sort of mythical structure.
You cannot imagine how many times a year you see something like that. I think every day, no?
And these are just holes in the shape of a garden.
They are trenches.
This is the last series of drawing we're working that might become a sculpture. And we're using Legos as a scheme. And here is an example of the scheme. And this scheme you can apply to all different things. And first thing we applied, it was to...
The first one was, we were trying to make a fire, but we are in the process.
Then we tried to make hurricane with the skin of Lego. And then we found this wonderful
Yugoslavia a sculpture outside projects.
that we also had in Cuba and probably Russia, Bulgaria, and all these places. This fantastic monument from the some of them beginning of the century. I mean, half of the last century, 50s, 60s.
50s, 60s, 70s.
Post-war monuments that show the power of the certain moments. No? But
we decided to change the skin of those monuments to make a small version made out of Legos.
But we don't use Lego as construction material, only like a scheme. That's important to repeat, no?
The drawing has the original names of the places that they are placed.
I think this is the last slide. So this project is, we start building some of these objects. We started just making these drawings, and we didn't know if we wanted to make it or not, but finally we liked the idea very much, and the experiments are working very well, and soon they're going to be fabricated. So we leave it like this, like a project that is going to be continuous.